La 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 la. Okay, here we go one more time. Yeah, without even the theme music. Just Spirit Talks raw. Yeah, how about that? Um, so I'm just going to chat at you here and trust that people will jump on and you can hear me and it's all good. Yeah. This is the third day in a row that I've done one of these, which feels amazing after weeks of not chatting here and not doing this. But uh, things are happening so quickly, and we're all responding to the world right now with such emotion. So. I sit here with my little screen like everyone has, and then I do my meditations and yeah, my walks by the river and things like this, and things come to me that I think might be of use to you. I hope that they are. So I want to share what comes to me, in whatever form that I think would be inspiring and empowering and uplifting and all of those good things. So this is Spirit Talks for the 1st of February of 2017, and my inspiration here today was this. I collect these photos from Pinterest and other places, other people's sites, and all sorts of places that I think, oh, that's good. I'll use that at some point, or I like that. And the quote here today was, "We are drowning in information while starving for wisdom," and it's put up like it's a title of a film. And what came through in the channeling last night, which was another delightful surprise for me, as it usually is this. I've edited it a little, but this quote from my guides, yeah, wisdom is when we take the qualities of understanding and compassion, of caring and loving, of peace and gratitude, and strive to apply these energies and tools to respect and honor the next 7 generations in whose name we are here as the caregivers and guardians of the earth. And this is why I love to channel. And thank you again for allowing me to do this with you from time to time in all the ways that I've been practicing it for a good few years now, because it stuff comes through that I'm not consciously aware of at all, and it comes through really honestly better than I could express it without that extra boost there. So that was great grace. And so I've been thinking, of course, about what's happening in my life, what's happening in the world, what's happening for all of us, and the divine timing of having my little iPhone here and Facebook and live streaming and all the rest of it. And you know Lazarus is one of my great teachers, and they say basically that there's a difference between fate and destiny. Hey, Jason. Hey, everyone. Naomi, Petra. Hi, my friends. So in fate, there's a lot of healing of denial happening in all of this politically, socially, spiritually right now, where we've denied our truth or our power or our spirit or our voice. There's a lot that gets denied in any crisis. You get to uncover what's been denied through crisis usually. And so what we do, as Carl Jung says, what we deny within us comes at us as fate. And so that's why taking responsibility is so empowering and so important. And our ability to respond to what's happening is so greatly needed and wanted. So that's fate, and then destiny is if it's the call of your soul to do something, and we answer the call of our soul, then boom, miracles happen, possibilities happen, support happens, resources happen, relationships happen, etc. the impossible becomes possible. So that's where I'm at right now. Is I'm doing the impossible, and learning to make it possible one more time with all of you here, which is great. So wisdom then. There's these choices between fate and destiny. Fate, obviously, we feel victimized, and it comes through our denial and our lack of self-awareness, etc. Destiny is, on the other hand, is a surrender process. Where we have our dreams and our desires, and we don't know how to fulfill them. It seems impossible, as I said, but we know that there is this power, this presence that's within us, spirit, yes, source, yes, God, Goddess, all that is, yes, yes, that if we consciously learn to tune into that and to surrender to that, to listen to, trust, and follow, then, we start to blend with that, we start to merge with that, we start to become that. So when you have a sense of your own destiny, then, in the smallest or grandest sense of the word again, then, you're really calling upon your soul and spirit and your guides to guide you, to assist you, to inspire you. And so what I want to say is, I'm very conscious how emotional everything has become, and that there are honestly just waves of emotional energy being released on the planet and right now. And I know you all know what I'm talking about, and I know you're feeling it. My dear friend Brenda and Arancha, both of them, they're staying extremely positive, which I love them for and appreciate them for. Other friends I know have been really, really struggling, and I'm probably somewhere in the middle of that. There's Walter, hi my friend, yeah. And so the theme, one of the themes that has come up a lot very clearly here, astrologically, energetically, is balance. And so as I was talking about destiny and fate, we all have a bit of both of these energies. We all have a bit of feeling of areas in our life where we don't feel powerful or free or supported, yeah. And then we have energies in our life where we do, and whether it's being a parent or being in a relationship or our work or our spiritual path or whatever, my guides say where our lives are working is where we've accepted who we are, and where things are flowing, particularly. A lot of times things are working, but we have to work quite hard at them. And there's a lot of struggle and etc. But where there's no struggle, no resistance, no fear, no judgment, that's where we are surrendering to our destiny. Yeah, where there is a feeling of victimhood or powerlessness or separation. Yeah, that's where we're pulling away from our destiny, and we're staying stuck in this conversation about fate. And so, of course, as hi Jeanette, as Kevin, hi, as all of us are dealing with these huge cosmic events in the world, we need to. My suggestion here is we need to have a very clear sense of why we're on the planet, what our purpose is. It's a joyous purpose. It's a fulfilling purpose. Destiny is transformative. That was one of the things that came through in the channeling last night. Here we are, the 1st of February, and I was saying the energy is going to be very, very powerful, very intense emotionally this month. So the message is from Spirit is to keep working with transformation. Like in the channeling last night, my guide said, so there's information, there's inspiration, and there's transformation. And things basically go in that order. So that's why that quote, we're drowning in information while starving for wisdom. So wisdom is where we hear the still small voice within us and actually if you were here last night, I played that lovely inspired talk from Reverend William, this beautiful black brother in North Carolina, talking about how they had moved the mountain there. And he was talking about having a moral compass and seeing our divine purpose together and uniting black and white and left and right and every other thing, every other, group, etc., and finding the will through the shared purpose to create the changes that he and his community wanted to create. They were talking about the fight for $15 an hour minimum wage, which I believe they successfully passed in North Carolina. So, again, it's like the Trump people. Yes, I have to go there for a moment. They are the cancer. There you go. Okay, people love that analogy. They're the cancer of our own struggle about destiny versus fate. Yeah, how's that for a good theme for the evening? And so, when we feel as human beings that someone is imposing their will upon us in a hurtful or negative or limiting way, of course, that's when people go crazy, everyone, and we're seeing a lot of that. And some of that is scary and some of that is wonderful and exciting. Yeah. So people are finding their voices. We're coming together as community. We're organizing. We're fundraising. We're praying. We're doing group intention, et cetera, and that's us finding our destiny. That's us, using the freedoms that we have to create more freedom in the world. Yeah, I mean, everything is a sign, right, Walter? It's all just feedback. Abraham says, you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. And so, this is the deep work that we're all in the midst of. That's why prayer and meditation are so important, and finding and following our hearts and inspiration. Because if we just keep looking at things that upset us and people that we don't like and things that are triggers, then of course we're going to get more and more frustrated, more angry, more frightened, all of those things. And like I said, that's this is this new time, my friends. There's just going to be a lot of that energy that the planet is now in the beginning of moving through, but you see, every time things happen, like the Trump inauguration, the next day 5 million people in the streets, the ban on Muslims and the travel restrictions, and people protesting at the airports, and the courts speaking up, and the attorney general standing up and getting fired, and now 1,000 people in Department of Justice have signed a petition. It's probably more by now. This is last night or this morning, saying that they're not going to uphold these laws. So in this short period of time, there's this war. It really is. It's a war now, happening between people that want to go back to the past, is the simple way to say it, I suppose, who have this, in my opinion, this false idealism about how things were better before. And, things were different and were better in some ways before. But of course, you can't go back to the past. You can't ignore the present. You can't, as far as, now I'm getting political here for a second, but as far as civil rights and science and truth, these things are the pillars of our world. So you can't just ignore them with impunity. Some of you have seen this animation that's out there of Trump with the boxing gloves on, and he's punching, all these different groups basically in the boxing bag, and eventually the bag becomes the world, and that's the one that topples on top of him. So we're getting deeply challenged. But what I want to say is, I also listened today just now to I'm a big fan of Albert Camus, who is the French novelist and writer who wrote The Stranger and The Plague and The Rebel and some of these great plays and novels and essays. Yeah, there's Pierce. And so Camus, Viggo Mortensen, I go to openculture.com, which is a great site. And especially for the connections culturally and politically, how things line up together. So I found Viggo Mortensen reading a speech 70 years later that Camus had given in 1946. So this was March of 2016. And Viggo's reading Camus' speech, and it's called The Crisis of Humanity. And it was written just after the end of World War II in his Camus' only trip to the States. And basically what I want to say here is that what came to me today is that, how to even say this, when we feel as human beings that we're in a war, where what we assumed and expected and have lived with suddenly is under threat and under attack, including our person, our safety, our values, our freedoms, all of that, that is the red light, my friends. That's when everyone emotionally goes completely, into some sort of fight or flight panic mode. And there is a lot of that happening in the world right now. I'm very conscious of that. But what I want to say to anyone that would follow me and anything I have to say here is that from my teacher Lazarus, from my guides last night, from Patricia and her guides, etc., from Oren, is that the message is going to continue to be, take your attention away from feelings of fate, like you have no power over this, and turn them back towards your destiny. What am I going to do with this? Why am I learning about this? Two things jumped out today in the news. One is that that the easement has been granted for the Dakota Access Pipeline to go through as of this evening, by my reading of things, and so there's just full out movement on the part of the militarized police to move the nonviolent protesters, the water protectors, out of the way. So that needs our full attention and support, prayers, and every other way that we possibly can today and over the next few days. That's gone to red as well. And then there was this very amazing picture and story of, now here we are, this is Wednesday night, and the immigration stuff happened Friday, Saturday, over the last several days. And unbelievably, not only were people who are legal U.S. citizens with, and who have legal residency, green cards and everything, prevented from returning to the States originally. But it got so crazy that a 5-year-old boy was actually handcuffed by the police for several hours while all this madness was being sorted out. And I just looked at this picture of this poor kid. I mean, it's heartbreaking, really, with his arms behind his back, and the handcuffs were like in his upper arms because he's, of course, a tiny kid. This is a child who's being held by the police because they think he's a security threat to the American government, to the American people. I mean, this is so fucking crazy, that you just have to go, how crazy is it going to get? Fortunately, thank you God, he was released back to his family. But I'm sure that, this was, right, like the West Bank and all the rest, we're getting a taste of our own medicine, or, all of those kinds of things, anyway, it's easy to get upset. It's easy to, be pissed off. It's easy to swear and all the rest of it. But, how can I turn that into my destiny? How can I turn that into my desire for greater love and healing in the world? So I'll just quote my guides here one more time. I won't keep you all very long tonight. Wisdom. Wisdom is when we take the qualities of understanding and compassion, of caring and loving, of peace and gratitude, and strive to apply these energies and tools to respect and honor the next 7 generations in whose name we are here as the caregivers and the guardians of the earth. So, of course, there's the prophecy of the rainbow warriors, and it says that, at the time of the Earth's and humanity's greatest challenge, that the consciousness of the rainbow warriors, will rise up. And again, my friends, that's all of us, and that's why the indigenous people around the world, are conscious of being the guardians of the earth, and of have this tremendous set of values that all of us admire and respect, who care about human dignity and character and spirit and the sacredness of human life and of the animals and the plants and Mother Earth. So, to come back to destiny then, what do we as Western human beings who have been programmed and conditioned all of our lives through schools and churches and governments, and society and, the media, we come up against our own beliefs. We come up against our own limitations. We come up against our experience. And so I just want to say that, the experience of fate, again, is what happens to us. The experience of destiny is what we do with that, right? And that's why responsibility is our ability to respond. And that's why, but not from a place of desperation or rage or fear or hatred or judgment. This is the great challenge for everyone, myself included, but from a place of inspiration, not desperation, as my guides say, from clarity. So, this is what we're all working on, the other thing I want to say here, I started to say this earlier, talking about Camus, and again, all this is on my lovely page here, is that, the World War II was, a huge disaster for humanity. 60 million people died in the space of less than a decade, and out of that came, a tremendous desire to live in a world of peace and freedom and justice and equality. And God bless Eleanor Roosevelt created the Declaration of Human Rights through the UN. That happened in 1948, I believe. Excuse me. And then we had the UN, we had NATO, we've had, many things that have happened since then. But of course, what's happening now is that, Trump and Bannon and the people that think they know how to rule the world, and of course, the people that have put them in power, these guys are not geniuses, There's other people with other equally dark agendas, in my experience, who keep them in power, and that's the way the game is really played. So we direct all of our anger and fear and hatred and judgment and rage at these, figureheads, whereas the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and whoever else is running the show, they're sitting back, taking it in like it's a movie and playing us all like we're a game of chess. Anyway, the whole point here about all this for me tonight is let's keep working energetically. Let's keep what came through in the channeling again was that the great ones of these times and other times, for me, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, et cetera, these people who absolutely live their principles and their ideals and raise the bar for what was possible as human beings. As Abraham says, everyone who's ever lived is there to guide us and to support us. So to come back to destiny and to come back to this month of transformation, and honestly, to set your goal personally, my suggestion here for all of us as a little community, as a study group, as a meditation circle, as a magical working, as a spiritual and political planetary powerhouse in miniature, the micro and the macro, to set the intention that we allow ourselves to be transformed, that we allow ourselves to be amazed at what is possible in this time. I think that's a good thing to kind of wrap it up on here in a minute. My teacher Lazarus gave their quote for this month. They say, "When love's magic is art, it matures with the strength of enchantment, and it deepens with the beauty of grace. With the artistry of love's magic, and your love mature with the strength of confidence and respect. Beautiful. Your life becomes a slow dance, elegant, majestic, and profound." That's my friends Lazarus. I would be lost without them, I promise you. And then it's also it's the Celtic spring today. It's Imbolic, I believe is how we say that, and that's celebrated by Bridget. And this is a great quote here from my friend there, Cara Gardner, who's another American who loves Ireland and has been here many times. This is her quote. Yeah. Thank you, Cara. From Bridget, it says, "Inner strength," is the card. "Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power." This is the full quote here. "Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Hold no prisoners. Stand in the truth of your heart's flame. Let no one and no thing shake you from your center of self-love, sovereignty, and peace. The humble cross of reeds is the symbol of our inevitable return to Mother Earth. Riches, materialism, and pride are petty diversions from the noble path of the courageous heart." That is absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for that again, Cara and Bridget. Yeah. All right. So let's just kind of wind it up here. And thank you for your time. And once again, I want to say that this is what I do and what I get to do and what I love to do, which is channeling for people. And so I do, as you know, and I'll appreciate your patience, I do one-on-one sessions via Skype, and you're welcome to connect with me about that. That's one of the ways that I support myself and get to do this kind of work with you. And you can also go to my website for the ebook, the invitation, Loumartin.eu, and subscribe, follow, share, like, spread the word, do whatever you like. You have my full grateful permission and support. So thank you again for your consciousness. So let's pray out, as we say here, yeah? Go ahead, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Dear friends, here we go. Yeah, a little bit of channeling for you, dear friends, one more time. Yeah, Spirit speaks. That's the idea. Spirit's talking to you, and your spirit is listening, dear friends, and here we are, gathering together, dear friends, by the light of the fire, the fire of your sacred spirit, the sacred circle of the enlightened ones that stand with you and that stand behind you, dear friends, And imagine that in your mind's eye, that you are, in the sacred circle before the sacred fire. And dear friends, you're celebrating the rebirth of the goddess, the rebirth of the divine feminine, and dear friends, your own sacred rebirth. Take a deep breath. The world is accelerating, dear friends. and you are sensing the quickening pace of the death of an old way of being and the birth of a better way of being, dear friends, in yourself, in your society, and in the wide world, dear friends, yeah? Human consciousness, yeah? The soul and spirit of this planet, of Gaia Mother Earth, yeah? Seeking the light, dear friends, seeking your light, yeah? Like the light of this beautiful fire, dear friends, to give yourself the warmth, the clarity, and the life that is the fire of your own soul and spirit. Take a deep breath. So let that fire move into your consciousness, dear friends, or stand in the fire, dear friends, if you like, yeah, and let that fire consume the energies of those things that no longer serve you, that no longer suit you, that are not any longer your fate, dear friends. Those things that you have struggled with, that you've fought over, that you've, judged yourselves and others about, dear friends, to let them go, to let the light, the violet fire, the light of your soul and spirit, consume them, take them from you, set you free. Take a deep breath. And dear friends, for yourself and for your world, the energy of fate, bless you, where you have felt the prisoner of others' ideas or beliefs, the slave, dear friends, yeah, to others' control and conquest, the victim, dear friends, to others' agendas and desires. Let that be consumed by the violet flame of this fire of your soul and spirit on the first day of spring. Take a deep breath. And now to your destiny, dear friends, let the divine feminine, for the women and the men, let her begin to beat the beat of your heart. She's always been there. She will always be there. Let her breathe the breath through your body. Let her fill you up with the golden light, dear friends, of your soul and spirit, learning and following and finding and creating, dear friends, your dreams and desires, your path, your truth, your soul's destiny. Take a deep breath. And a hand to the heart in your mind's eye, or literally, dear friends, I open my heart, my mind, and myself to receive the gifts, the grace, and the goodness of the divine feminine as the guardian of my soul's destiny at this moment in my life. Take a deep breath. I accept and I celebrate. I receive and I bless. Where words cannot go, that is the energy of love and light, guiding and inspiring me to take the next steps throughout this month to find the inspiration that leads to transformation and to let my life be renewed and reborn in spirit as one. Take a deep breath. And finally, dear friends, stepping out of the fire to the other side of the circle, look into the eyes and the hearts of those that stand here with you from this and other lifetimes, who embrace you with love and gratitude, with joy and happiness, with thanksgiving, and with peace, dear friends. Take a deep breath. And so as the fire burns low, as the nighttime gives way to the dawn, dear friends, as you move round the circle, a word here or there, a touch here or there, perhaps giving and receiving gifts from Spirit, dear friends, let us hold you as you return to this time and space. A hand to your heart, a hand over your head, the divine feminine within you, awake, alive, and prepared, dear friends, for dreams coming true. All is truly well for you, for your world. You are blessed, and you are a blessing. You're an angel at this time and in this world, dear friends. Call upon these spirits to guide you and to inspire you and to ask for all that you need, and know that all is truly well with you and for you. You stand upon the path of your destiny. Celebrate your free will choice, and remember, you are safe, loved, and supported. Dear friends, we love you so. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Okay, thank you. We're on a roll. Yes, that was a good one. I feel that. So my love to you all. Thank you again for your donations, your sessions, your ebook purchases, and your interest and support in me and my guides and what we get to share with you. It really makes a huge difference in my life, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So if I can help you in any way on your path, please let me know. And 1,000 thanks. Peace and blessings. Namaste.